Hey, welcome in. Yeah, this is going to be one for me personally. I built a full PlayStation up with like xStation, wireless controllers, memory cards, HDMI, and then somebody brought it, so I figured I'm going to build another one for myself. But I'm not going to bother with HDMI because, as I remembered really when I was building one for myself, I could fit the HDMI at a later date, but I'm going to be playing this on a CRT, so I'm just going to do an xStation install. We'll do the memory card, which is just basically plug and play, just check it works, and I'm going to try and get this nice Mamba controller up and running basically for the controller instead of using the original. I like the original, but obviously I can still use an original. I just want to pair the wireless one so I have the choice of both. So I'm just going to start with checking. Oh, this one's got UK bad laser written on, so I presume it's not going to work, but let's check this actually powers up, and yep, we get the audio. And then, do I have any games lying around? That's one thing I don't have, I don't think. Actually, I think I do somewhere up here. Where are the games? There we go. So, do we have an English? Yeah, we've got an English PS1 game. Got the Japanese Resident Evil. There we go, English Resident Evil. But it has got a note on saying obviously bad laser, so I presume this isn't going to work. CRT for retro gaming. Why is that not popping up in the chat over here? I've got all the, obviously I've got like the Trinitrons here, but I just use, I think it's an LG or a Philips at the minute, just a 32-inch large standard consumer one. Just so it's more like literally what I had as a child kind of thing. I want it to just still be original, not crazy good. For the laser, we're not going to swap the laser. I'm going to put an xStation in so we load off SD card. And this is just going to be my personal one. The chat is definitely not pulling in right though, because YouTube isn't showing all of them. So if I miss it on stream, then I'm not going to see the message, and TikTok isn't pulling in again. So chat's a little bit dodgy. If you don't see me answer, probably just message again. Hey, welcome in from Massachusetts. We did one this morning. Early morning in the UK, 6 o'clock. We had quite a lot of US guys on there as well at the same time. Just give this disc a quick clean. I think most of the times I decide to stream, to be honest, most UK people aren't even around. It's either too early or too late. Right, let's try. Oh, I've got one up there already. We might as well see if this already works and loads a game, then I can keep the laser for obviously repairs and donors if it does work, but I don't hold hope on this. It's just we might as well check it while we're here. So it's spinning up. Thanks, Jay, glad you're liking what we're doing. Yeah, this doesn't sound like it's going to load. I mean, I could probably tune the laser, but if it's already out of whack, then we probably won't use this anyway. Yeah, that's not going to load, so that doesn't really matter anyway. So let's do the easy thing first, which will be, let's try and get, obviously we can use this controller still, to go left and right, in and out the memory card. So we go in with this, so we should just be able to unplug this, plug this in, and then that's now flashing to pair. So I will turn on this controller. It should be fairly easy, so this 8-bit DOE is practically plug and play. Should plug the controller in. We will go to the menu, go to pairing, and then let's see if this picks up. There we go, I think it's flashing already. And I've never tried the 8-bit DOE. I tried the Ah, this is popping up again. You see it's popping up on here and not looking like the stream showing comments, but they're not in my side view. Yeah, that switchless mod for the PC Engine. I think there's a few out there, but it's something I wanted to make at some point as well. Just never got around to it. So this one isn't liking the Android pairing at the minute. I'm sure they work with 8-bit though, so maybe we've got to just change the mode. Let's try Switch maybe. Yeah, I tried the, there we go, I think that's paired already. So you want, for the Mamba, you want the Switch mode, and then it pairs to the 8-bit though. And now, there we go, it's working, perfect. So now I have a modern controller with a nice little screen I can use, LEDs, rumbles. Obviously I don't think rumble will be supported, but we've got a nice modern controller we can use now. So that's what we want. That saves wires. When you don't really want to sit with the wire, you can. I never want to just plug in a retro controller, I also can as well. I have an OG fat PS3. Do you guys still? No, we don't do the PS3s. Mainly because when we used to list PS3, that's all we used to do. We'd get literally 15 a week in, and they never last. The RSXs are dying, basically, is the answer to it. They basically got thermal stress and the die separating, so we don't work on them anymore. xStation pre-configured. No, I've set up an SD card though. It's pretty simple. You just download. You can optionally download update files to update the xStation when you plug it in. You just make a folder called 00 xStation. You dump in the loader and the update file, which is a download link on their GitHub, and then you just copy and paste games onto the SD card. It couldn't be any simpler. So I've got an SD card with Resident Evil on, the most important thing. And I've obviously owned the game as well, which is down there as you've seen. So that's all I'll need for now for mine. So we have the SD card already done for us for xStation when we're ready. The controller's now done, which is what we want. We can't play Resident Evil yet to test the memory card, so we'll have to test this when we actually finish the mod to see if we can save. But for now, we can't. So we'll turn this controller off and put this out of the way. And what we're going to do is basically I'm going to keep the composite. I'm quite happy with composite because it's going on my CRT, and I kind of like the authenticity side at the minute. I'm kind of going back to the you know, the original way of how the consoles were, not too modified. But this one's got a bad laser, so it's a perfect perfect one for this. So let's just take that out as well and get this open. So the back's pretty simple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. They're really easy to work on. Yeah, director's cut, definitely one of the best ones. In fact, it's probably as one of my favourites. I always play, when I play Resident Evil, I always play the director's cut. Address for sending stuff, go to go to basically the website retro6.co.uk. Go to the send-in service page, and on any single product page there's a big yellow link on every page that tells you how you need to package it and where to send it. Clean comp we could, yes, it depends how unclean or how out of spec the composite is on this, but I probably won't bother on this one for now. Like I say, I want to kind of keep it as authentic as possible in a way. This is just like me wanting to enjoy the PlayStation as I used to as a kid. I don't want to go too heavy on the mods on this one. I just want to be able to load the games. I kind of do like loading them from disc, and I like the noises as well, but I've already got a PS1 in there, you know, the smaller versions. I've got one of them already in the games room, and I do play that, but I figured I might as well do an xStation build. So when I can't be bothered get all the discs out, I can just load them off SD card. And all these screws inside, you don't really need to keep track of them. There's basically, the outside screws are all the same size and black, and the inside screws are all the same size and a gold kind of anodized colour. I think that's all the screws off that. Obviously, if you're working on these as well, I'm hovering around this. You don't really want to do that until you discharge. This circuit, I happen to know if you turn on, it will discharge the caps, but if you're working on any mains power, you're probably best testing beforehand to know if you've actually got the caps discharged. More there. And then I'll probably, yeah, I probably won't do the recap for now. Looking at it, they're not too bad. It will need one, but obviously this is going to be my personal one, so I'll do it when I feel like doing a recap. I'm not that in the mood to do a recap at the minute. I might decide at the end of the stream do a recap though, but we'll see how we go. Right, so that's that out the way. And now for the mod. Oh yeah, I can try sneak some oat cakes in. They might get caught by, if it's international, it's going to be caught by customs. The xStation, we don't really sell it. You can just grab it off AliExpress if you want the xStation. We've kind of stopped selling mods that aren't ours because people can just get them cheaper anyway. But we sell the install. So if you want a PlayStation built up with it, and we sell it installed, and you don't have to buy it. So that's kind of what we did, because there's no point in trying to make money on stocking stuff that you can buy anyway. Ah yeah, chest, that's no worries. Literally leave a note on an order and I can chuck you some in. I'll just I'll have to probably get a freezer bag and ship it DHL though. No, I haven't been streaming 12 hours. I come on this morning about 10 to 6, or I think I might have come on after 6. I was down here anyway before then, but early morning till about 9. Then I've got all my jobs done, and now I just figured while the missus watches Strictly Come Dancing, I can't be bothered to watch that. We'll build up a PlayStation for me. Right, so install guide for the xStation. Just see if there's any more modern guides or not. So it's probably going to be the wiki is the latest guide. Let me drag this over and we'll go through together what the general idea is. So first off, we need to identify which board we have. This one is, I think, a PU18 they normally are. Yep, so if we look at this board, you can see PU18 here, so that's the one we want. The xStation lets you load all the games off an SD card instead of a laser, and because the laser on this is dead, this is what we're going to do. So PU18s are obviously the most common as well. Check you've disassembled it, please remove all cables, we've done that. Search for IC701, which is the CDX. So what I can do is also pop this one over the top like this, and you can kind of see what we're doing. Flip this up, and then this is the chip we're looking for. You can see IC701 there. So that's the one we want to do on here. Favourite console? It changes all the time, but pretty much my favourite games are Resident Evil, Jurassic Park, and Zelda on N64, and Pokemon on Game Boys. So they're like the games I like. I'd say my favourite console though, it's probably ask me every stream and I'll change my mind. It depends what I'm in the mood for at the time. I think all-time classic has got to just be PlayStation for Resident Evil. When I'm travelling, it's definitely Game Boy. I like the originals, but I play the GBA and it's always Pokemon. And more recently, since doing this business, I've really got into like the Neo Geos, the arcades. I've got like about 4 or 5 of them now. Never had one as a child, but I kind of love them now. Yeah, you can train in straight to Stoke. It's just a shithole, so you'll know when you come into Stoke because it goes dark and there's graffiti all over the windows, and you'll probably get robbed when you get off the train. But other than that, yeah, you could come get oat cakes, no matter. We don't have a physical store though anymore. We're all online. This is just me and me house basically doing these repairs now. The online business, we just have a warehouse, and we just dispatch orders online. Hey, welcome in from Houston. Glad you're liking the streams. So on this chip now, IC107, what we have to do, I think this is when we lift pads on. You have to lift the following pins. So this is where I differ from where everybody else does this mod. What they'll do is, let's just hide that overlay for now. We basically got to remove, lift them pins up, it shows. I think it's much quicker and easier to just take this chip off. I see no reason trying to struggle and lift pins off basically to, there we go, focus in. Instead of trying to lift pins, we've got to lift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pins on this. So I'm not going to sort of get a soldering iron and come in here and warm up and then bend a pin out and then try and bend these. It just isn't worth it. So instead, I just like to chuck flux on this, hot air it off, bend the pins up, and then solder it back down. It's just easier for me, much quicker. So that's what I'm going to do for that part. Yeah, I've got the RGX. I've got loads of them Ambonic consoles, tons of them. I play all of them, but I always end up back to the originals. For the laser power, yeah, we can tune that laser, but this is one I want for myself, so I figured picking out a stock, it's good to just pick one that's already got a bad laser, so then I can use it for myself. So we're just going to go 480 degrees Celsius, 80% airspeed, and just hot air this off. And we'll try not to blow this little cap up on the right side, but I can't promise anything. Brexit, not really. I think COVID kind of boomed this business. It started somewhere around there before COVID, and then COVID really boomed it, and it was, I'd say, double the size it is now at its peak. But it was like every business I've had. It was kind of a lot of work and a lot of headache, and I didn't want it to be. This was meant to be a pleasure, not a business. So I kind of much prefer the fact that now it's slower and still pays the bills, because I want to enjoy this. I don't want this to turn into just yet another business that you're working, you're working for working. This is why I'm sitting here on a Saturday night building a console for myself, because it's enjoyable, and I don't want that to kind of get screwed up if the business goes too big. Right, so we'll be ready to lift in a minute. Probably could do with a little bit more flux, to be honest, because those pins are quite dry. So we might as well give them pins a nice fluxing while we're at it. There we go, so he's off. We will try and clean the chip and just place him on paper towel, dab over, just rub off some flux on the chip itself while it's hot. And then on this board, give it a good clean while it's hot. That gets rid of all the flux nicely. That's that step done. And now we can move that out of the way, bring in this chip, and this is where we want to bend those legs up basically. So we'll try and clean any flux off first. Let this cool down a minute so I don't burn my hands. And now we need to flip over, and what we need to do is bend, still a bit toasty, let's cool it down with a bit of flux, a bit of IPA rather. There we go, so, ooh, still hot, come on, cool down. Alright, I'll use asbestos fingers and get this done. So, if we remind ourselves what we need to do, we have these pins we need to bend up. So the first one, which is here, and I normally do this under a microscope, so to be honest, I'm probably going to have to zoom in. You can see what pins we've got to bend. We've got to bend the first one, and then miss one, then two more, then miss two, then one more, and then one over here, and three down here. So I'll hide that out the way, just so I can zoom in more, because I'm going to have to use, I'm using the stream as my microscope, so this might be a little bit slower than normal, because there's a slight delay, but the idea is you just get the pin and just lift it up nice and straight like that. And that's what we want to do on all of them. So now the next two, you miss one and bend up the next two, so that's these two here. This is way more difficult with no depth perception. And they're just out the way. Then we miss two and bend one more up. So we'll go to, sorry, miss one. No, we do miss two and go one more up. So that is a nice way of getting the pins up without messing things up and bending pins. It's just the way to go. So one, miss one, two, miss two, one, that's right. Go the other end, we've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins back. Double check that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, and we lift the 6th pin back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this one. Lift him up. And now the last one. This chip, it's the CXD will be for the probably CD controller. CXA is normally for CDs, and CXDs are normally sorry, CXAs are normally for video, and CXDs are normally for disk drives. Don't know whether it stands for like analog and disk. I doubt it does. It's just their obviously prefix on certain chips Sony make. But this one, we'll be lifting these up because we've removed the laser, so we're going to be using an xStation. So that's what these will be doing. So we miss 3 and bend the next 3 up. So it's going to be these two and this one. And then just, even though we don't need that straight, that's going to annoy me that that's slightly twisted more than the others. There we go, so that's them all bent up. Everything else is now ready to go back down. So that's my personal preference of how I do this. What we are doing, for those joining a bit later, is we're installing a nice little xStation. So this one is a PAL PlayStation 1. It's for myself, this isn't like a customer's, but this had a bad laser. So I just figured we might as well make this useful and chuck in an xStation. And I've done a wireless controller, so you just plug in an 8-bit DOE receiver and we've got a little wireless controller. And I've got somewhere else that I've lost already. I put a memory card somewhere. We've got a, yeah, literally I've lost that. Well, we did have a memory card, there. We've got this memory card, so just a PSX mem card, just so you can save your games and you've got more memory. So this is the first part of the xStation install. We have to go on this guide, and basically we go to the top. It tells us to get this chip and lift all these legs up, and instead of lifting them up one by one, we've just removed the chip, and now we're just going to solder it back down. I just find that a much easier process. So all we'll do for this is a bit more flux, and these pins will look fine. So I don't think we need to reapply anything else. And then using, again, I don't really use the microscope now because obviously streaming, you don't really want to just see my head, you kind of want to see it working. But I've got quite good now at installing these chips without using the microscope and just using a slight video delay stream. So we should be okay at this. Our army men, I forget about that as well. I think quite a game that most people haven't played as well that I used to love is on the Xbox original, Gunmetal. And you're basically like a mech, so you go around as a walking mech and then you can convert into a plane and fly around. I used to basically just put Linkin Park on in the background because you can load up custom music on it. So I used to sit and chill to music, flying around, shooting stuff. It was ace. It was dead relaxing. But I don't think I've met anyone yet that when I mention it, they've even heard of it. So obviously couldn't have been as popular as I thought, but you should definitely try that out. The xStation is to load games off SD card. It replaces the laser, basically. Right, so this looks like it's bubbling and it's in place, so I'm going to push down, firm, go around close. And that should be on nicely now. And then sometimes if they're old chips and old solder, I'll just run a little bit of flux around and it will help just make them solder joints a bit nicer and rounder. And then we should, I don't know whether we're zoomed in all the way, yes we are, but we can zoom in digitally a bit more, and I think maybe we need to, let me just focus that camera in a little bit more while this is cooling. Oh, no, it didn't make it, did it? There we go, I got it. Right, so now we can see all them are nicely soldered, almost factory, so it doesn't look much different than when we lifted it off. That's flown on quite well. And then if we zoom out a little bit, you can see those pins are obviously lifted in the air, so we know all those pins for a fact won't be touching. The only thing with this is now the pins are in the air, just be careful when we're cleaning it, we don't want to catch them pins and pull them off. So just a bit more gentle when we're cleaning stuff. I've also got an air purifier now in here, so as soon as I start soldering, see if I can get this camera and do a big wing around. No rusty in the bed. So I've got this air purifier here now. Look at the state of the air now. It's 57% clean. So that's out. It's literally detected all the fumes in the air and it's sort of fixing it for me, which is quite cool. So that's just a bit better for air quality. Emailed about parts. I think I've replied to most emails. Let me just pop open my email a second. I've got no outstanding emails. Drop me an email now while you're on stream and I'll let you know if it comes in. Because sometimes emails bounce. That's why we set up the Discord as well, because a lot of people have emails that just don't make it through. Right, so we've lifted them pins. What is next? Turn the board over and focus on the quick solder board. Position the board, keep it very simple. Place quick solder board, solder all the pads in. Yeah, so pretty much the next step is self-explanatory then. A load of steps to just say flip the board over. And it's down here we want to be. So if we go over here, this is the area where we're going to install. Ooh, some of that flux has run through. The little quick solder board that comes with the kit. And I think it goes this way and somewhere around here. So we'll just float it around. Let me look at the image so I know where I'm placing it. And it's not shown a single picture of the board in place. I only did one of these about a week ago and I believe it goes over here. Does it go like that? Yeah, that's it. So you can see all these pins start lining up. This one, this one, this one. That via will need scraping. These two are fine. Them two are fine. Them four are fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. So I think the only one on this revision we need to do is scraping that via, by the looks of it. So this top via here, see if I can get something under there to stop the reflection a bit. There we go. Was it that via or that via? I forgot already. Top via, so the highest one. Stream retro gaming. I'd say cheapest way to get the consoles is to use obviously the composite and then into HDMI. So you've got the retro scaler, which is quite good. I'd probably say that's the cheapest on AliExpress. If you get a bargain, you can get them for £30–40. They're normally dearer. Next up is the Retro Tink. They're a bit more expensive, but I don't think they're as good as an OSSC. But an OSSC, you need the OSSC plus a converter. So that's the most expensive. That's like £220, but is the best for composite. And then HDMI into streaming, you can use cam links. I'd say, to be honest, cam links unless you go to Blackmagic stuff. There is one that's really good for composite that comes from, I don't know where it came from. I found out when I was trying to capture composite the best way. And there's this one maker. I've got one, I could always pull it out later, but unless you're really fussy about composite and super accurate composite, I'd just go with like a retro scaler. This PlayStation is just PlayStation 1, the original. So we have the PS1 here with a bad laser. So we're swapping the laser out for an xStation. And that's pretty much all I'm doing on it. Wireless controller and memory card as well, but they're just plug and play pretty much. Yeah, if you spoke to me before, I've probably moved the email or answered. I haven't got it in my inbox, so just drop us an email again and I'll be able to spot it again. It's obviously either gone wanders or moved over somewhere. Cloning NAND chips, in theory they should, unless they've got some protection on them. Some NAND chips can have protection on that if you don't send a key to begin with. When you read, it can corrupt, but typically just cloning NANDs is exactly what it says. You just bit clone the NAND. If they don't work, it's normally because they have IDs stored in the NANDs, and the system can read the ID of that NAND and think it's changed even though the data is different on it. We're modding a PS1 at the minute with an SD card. Just check my emails. Yeah, I've got that one, David, so I'll reply to you later on or in the morning. One or the other. I think we might need a permanent Rusty Cam in the other room as well, because he gets asked for all the time. You missed him this morning if you weren't on this morning's. xStation does technically work with PS1s, but I think you have to hand solder it in. I did want to do it to mine. That's what I run at the minute, a PS1, like the small ones. But I think they're a bit of a faff to get installed neat looking. But yeah, they technically work. You just got to do some hand soldering. I've not really looked into it too much. Laser replacements, not too bad, to be honest. Of all the consoles, the laser replacements on these aren't too bad. We don't need that piece of plastic, wherever that's come from. Right, let's try and get this quick solder board down. I'll try and keep an eye on these comments as I'm going, but let's drop this down now we've done that. So what we like to do here is line this up as best we can with all the holes and then tack them at two extremes. So I'll probably tack, say, this one here and then one over here once I've aligned, say, that one down there to get the best alignment. So that doesn't look too bad there, I'd say. So now if we've got that in place there, I'll try and hold that. We'll get a dirty, dry solder joint doing this, but it's just about tacking it in place for now. We didn't even manage that. Let's try again. Right. That was hot under my finger. Of all the places I put my finger underneath, look at that, bright red. I'd put my finger right under that position. Right, so that's just about tacked on very poorly. So now, if we move this into position, in fact, let's warm that up again, and then we want to tack this one here, and I found out there's actually a via right there, so let's just tack that one that's dry as well. Right, so that one's now on, and then let's just go and reflow this one that was quite messy. We can zoom in now because that's mainly what we're doing. Try and get this a bit better focused. There we go. And then we'll go and try and tackle that via. So now we can redo this. Way too much solder on that, but while that's on, we'll tack another one on, and now we can clean. Well, let's tack this one on as well, and now we'll clean this one up because that's got way too much on. There we go. So before we tack any more down, we want to expose that via. Cutting the legs on the chip, yeah, it's probably more, well, to be honest, it'd be quite hard to do that. You'd be surprised how small it is. It probably looks quite big on camera with zooming in. I'm sure you could get some cutters that were probably small enough, but it's also, like I say, reversibility in a way, especially considering these consoles will never be made again. So it's more about probably a bit of preservation as well. Yeah, for lasers, I've literally got a wall in the games room full of PS1s. I've got about 110. They're all Japanese 700s, 7000s that are not really good for much because you can't xStation them. The region unlock doesn't work for PS for the 7000 series. I think the last I checked, so they're pretty much only good for lasers. So that's literally what I use them for. I've got a wall full of them, and when I need them, I just go through them and pick the lasers out. TikTok as well, the comments aren't coming through on the main channel. I have to tag through them, they pop up, so I'll be a bit slow at answering the TikTok ones. We don't mod Switches now. We're getting too many. We're literally getting dozens a week, and we're going to end up getting sued by Nintendo if we keep doing it, so I ended them the other day, unfortunately. But yeah, when things become a bit too popular and they're not exactly you're not 100% on, you know, that you're safe just because you're not actually installing games and things, you're doing a physical bit of work, I don't think Nintendo would give a crap. They'd still come after us. Yeah, we repair things for customers. That's pretty much what the stream normally is. It's just that I've decided to build myself a PlayStation today instead of doing the customer's work, which we obviously have. I'll probably do an Atari Jag tomorrow. The customer had a PC Engine this morning done, and they've sent in a Jag as well. That's going to have a 50-60 Hz mod, which, if you saw the other stream we actually did, we found a really nice place to do the switch mod on it. I didn't upload it to the wiki yet either, but I've got photos of it. So that'll be having a full recap and a 50-60 Hz mod. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Just zoom in on that. Can't tell whether that's them two pads shorted or not. Even under there I can't tell. Let me just use the microscope to confirm that pad. It's that close, I can't really see if those two are touching or not. No, they're fine. Yeah, that was it. It was like the switch we put in the grill. To be honest, it's I don't know that it's a bit too discreet. So it's really good, but it's really discreet, and you have to have the slightest bit of fingernail to be able to switch it. I liked it, but I think I'll contemplate it when we come to do it, whether we use a slightly bigger switch and modify the shell a bit more for convenience, or whether we just go with that approach. But I do kind of like it. PS3, no, we used to work on them already. We had absolutely tons in all the time, but the problem is ooh, where did that solder go? It was definitely not meant to go that far. They were never really warrantyable. We'd get customers that would be just outside of warranty, 6 months on them at the time, and they'd die again. We'd have them fail after a week after fixing them. They're all RSX related, so the graphics card, it's well, the graphics IC. Like the GPU, they're basically dying now with age and overheating, and there's no real fix for them. I don't think we know the problem now. It's basically the RSX layers. There's like 2 chips in one, and it's the middle sandwich layer between the RSX that's starting to fail. Grab a PS3 Slim is basically your best bet at the minute, and I don't really want to do the Slim interposer transfer, because it's just mind-numbing work, and we get so many of them in. That's all I'd be doing. So some things that are popular we just have to end, because like I say, I don't want to just be a factory churning out the exact same thing every day. I like the fact that we work on different things. This extra board is to tap into the pins that ultimately this xStation needs. So this is the little xStation that we insert our, might as well put the SD card in for now. I've got a 1.5 terabyte, so I'm going to max this out, but for now there's just Resident Evil on there. So this does all the work and replaces the disk drive. We put the ribbon in here, and it connects to here, and then ultimately this ribbon is for that reason, to tap off all these pins that it needs. We still need to solder a clock on here so it can handle the clock, and then it replaces the optical drive basically. 60 Hz mod on a Mega Drive. I think it's on the website. 2 seconds. Where is the website? I know I want to make a mod on the Mega Drive. I want to write some code to do like the switchless mod and stuff, so it might not be on just because I want to make the mod for it first, but I've had a few requests. Yeah, it's not listed at the minute. I can do you one. It's like if you wanted to buy an existing mod and ship it with the order, I can install it for like an extra 30 on top of the service, so you could just message me about that. But I will make my own at some point. Switchless solution for the Mega Drive, is that on about? If so, that's something that, you know, I can do as well. Or for the Jag, I could do the same for the Jag. I'm sure I could read the a bit of the boot up code and do a switchless mod when I get time. PS3 Slims should last, because I don't think they don't really suffer from the same fault. They're a 40nm chip, I think, so they generate a lot less heat. Now the next one is we have to desolder and remove one small resistor located next to the oscillator, which is that one there. So that will be over here. We've got an oscillator, we've got a resistor down here, and this is so the xStation can, instead of this oscillator, I presume it's going to completely disable this oscillator in a sense by just removing the output, and then it taps onto the pin and sends the clock. So the xStation then is in control of the system clock, or this clock might just be for the drive, but either way its job is to override this. So we'll get the resistor. I'm going to just tap him over, say here, just move him out of the way or something. In fact, we might not want that. Oh yeah, that's fine because that's on the same plane, so that's just going to sit out the way. I guess we could also just tack him onto here for now, just so basically if anyone wants to revert the mod, they can quite easily see where the resistor is. It's, you know, it's not that far out the way that you can't see where it is. And then we want to tack a wire onto the pad here they're tacking it to. So we'll just follow that for now, keep it exactly the same. This is a PS1, we're adding an xStation on it. We can load some games off SD card. For the work, we've got about 6 employees. I think it's 6 now. But they're all pretty much family now. We kind of cut it back to a family-sized business. For the console sides, there's me and Zach, so stepson basically, and we work on them permanently. I run a few other businesses as well, but I tend to do them nice and early in the morning. So I do software, I do houses up. I've got another house I've just got to collect the keys for, funnily enough, Monday, and then we basically renovate them and flip them. So every now and then I'll go and gut the houses, do a bit of plumbing, do a bit of whatever needs doing basically, and then I work with others on it. So I basically work closely with, again, a couple of people, friends and family that we trust, and we do hot house flipping as well. But Zach works on it like every day of the week basically, and we're always flat out. We've never not had between 50 and 100 consoles in permanently on you know, this side of the business, the repairs and the consoles, and it's getting busier basically. I've just finished doing an Amiga 1200, and I was tempted to end them because I just wasn't in the mood at the time for doing such a big build. And then as soon as I've finished doing it, literally I think it was 2 days ago, I've now sold another one maxed out. I'm like, oh. So I love working on them, I did, but I think because I haven't worked on any Amigas for a month or two, I kind of just wasn't in the mood at the time. I was gone away on holiday, I'd only got the job half done, I didn't have some of the stuff in stock. It was just one of them orders that kind of, you just get them every now and then, you're just not in the mood for that. But now I've got to do another one, so it's kind of punishment, I guess, for not wanting the work. I think that is all of the mod that we have to do. Fix the yellow light to death, we used to, but ultimately that's, again, goes back to the, it's all related to, almost always related to the RSX failing. That's the same issue. No, didn't study anything, I'm all self-taught with everything basically. We mod PS4s, depends what you're after. We don't tend to work too much on the modern stuff other than fixing the HDMI ports. Same with graphics cards. I'm sure I could, but we're busy enough with this, so we've kind of stopped taking on all the random stuff. Basically, we now focus on dedicated on retro stuff because we just get enough of it in. Right, difficult part's now finished. We need to, so we've got to modify the case. So if we grab this case, the bottom case, so we'll want this removing. I think we have to cut some of this metal out as well, I'm not sure. We have to cut the stump here, so this will be for the ribbon to pass through, so pretty simple. That stump there. Cover it with, as well, I'll cover it with something else, because when you cover it with your hand it always smacks into your hand, and oh, so that one didn't. Normally smacks into your hand and wrecks. So that's that bit. Oh, I thought we had to cut the metal on this. Maybe we don't. So connect the ribbon, pass it through, clip that in. So I think we're on the home stretch of this one now. Yep, fold it through. So basically all it's telling us all the way through here is just connecting it up. So we should be good on our own now without any guide. I'll come back and, like I say, probably clean this up and maybe recap it as well. But with it being one for me, I'm not fussed at doing that at the minute. I just want to get it working and play it, and then if I keep it, I'll finish it off and tidy it up inside, do the recap, stuff like that. So this just goes into here, connects in, and now this can go down on here. There we go. Game Boy Color very quiet. It could be so the headphone jack is fine, but the speaker isn't. Is that what we're saying there? Sometimes hear it at max volume in my ear right next to the speaker, but the headphones. Yeah, so if it's the headphone, slight diversion, but these are quite easy to look at. Let me just pull up the schematic and I'll tell you what it could be. The obvious is it can be the speaker, so you probably want to try changing the speaker first. And let's look at the schematic. So let's just pull this up on screen a second. So you've got the Game Boy Color here. If you take a look in here, this is the amp, so left and right come in. The fact that your headphones work means that it's not going to be the input side, so you can ignore all that. The volume wheel must work if your headphone volume works, so it's not that either. You have some low pass filters here, so you could have a bad low pass filter, which is pin 17, so check C27. You can just remove C27 if you want. That would prevent it from being an issue, but you'll get a bit of noise. It's very unlikely that though. If you look at then the speaker, it comes out of pin 3, goes into the speaker, goes down to analog ground. Now the only trick with the speaker is, I believe it could be C38 going to ground, could be EM1, the filter being bad, but I can't remember based on the schematic and how it looks, but I've got a vague feeling that this analog ground here passes through the headphone jack, so when the headphone jack's removed it grounds this pin. I might be wrong on that, but I've got a suspicion because I know this drawing here isn't quite right. But what you could try to do, one thing you can do is go to A ground on the speaker here and just send it straight to normal ground, and that'll bypass that. You'll get a bit of noise, but that'll prove if it's anything to do with that. So I'd probably go basically connect one wire with the speaker to the SP pad, which it should already be, and take the other wire off and solder a wire straight to ground. If that's your issue, it's either your headphone jack, EM1 or C38, or traces between them. In an unlikely case it's C27, and it could also be your amp. It could actually be U3 failing, and the internal amp in there driving the speaker fails. That's what it can be. That's pretty much all it can be. There's not many more symptoms to it. Favourite game, Resident Evil 1, 2 and 3. Probably I like 2 for the graphics, but I prefer 1 for the challenge. I like Zelda on N64. I've got to replay that soon because I love that. It's just such a long gameplay compared to other games. You really have to find the time for it. But I do love Zelda on N64. And then obviously all the Pokemons on the handhelds. Right, so that all seems to be in now. Right, so I'm not going to bother with screws for now. I can, like I say, I'll probably come back and recap this if it works. I'll just leave it all floating and we'll get this in. It'll work fine without the screws, obviously. No, we don't sell the xStation. We just tell people go on AliExpress and find it. We don't really sell stuff that isn't made by us now much, because obviously people can just find it online. and get it that way. And that is, you'll have to take the SD card out. Yeah, there's we sell the install of the xStation, but like I say, there's no point. We just advise people buy it off AliExpress. That's a lot of the stuff we can get mod-wise off there, and if not, we get them from suppliers that we've worked with for years. But generic stuff, because it's just not ours, there's no real profit in doing that either. And it can lead to, unfortunately, a lot of scams on places like eBay, where they'll buy yours and then send you another one or an empty parcel back. So we also have that to contend with if we sold stuff like that. Right, this should have been folded and put up and under before I did this. I'll probably lift that off, fold it through there maybe, down and up. Yeah, that'll work nicely. And I'll probably just connect this so that can just really pass through there first, connect into here. And then now, with that on, we can do the little origami fold. And we're in. And this kind of holds in place by the lid of the PlayStation, so nothing really fixes this down. This just like is floating and loose. But it's when you put this on, if we've got everything else connected. Yeah, I think we have. We place this down, and that kind of keeps it in place. Yeah, PS2, we do a fully modded, maxed out PS2 with a memory card with all games on, and that's, I think what we use for that is funnily enough, it is the thing I keep losing. It's one of these configured correctly. You can use these to literally just plug into the PS2 and boot off it. I think it's called, let me get you the name of it if you want to do it yourself. If not, we do it as well. PS2, it's called SD2 PSX TD. If you go through all the rigmarole of setting all that up, you can configure these to just boot a PlayStation 2 by simply plugging it in the memory card slot. You don't even need to do any hard mods. But that's the xStation now, so this is what it looks like. So you shut the lid, open it, and instead of the disk drive, you've got a nice thing here. I want really this in a grey, ideally, so it matches, but that's what it is. And the SD card's here that you can access. So with that in, I think we should be able to boot this. Hey, welcome to the stream. We're not far off done now. We've got the xStation installed. We've got our wireless controller, so we can now boot play games using a Mamba controller, which is what we're going to try in a second. And then we can try this memory card and play some Resident Evil. How many employees do we have? We have about 6 at the minute. Yeah, this is obviously the original PS1. If you want this done, let me go on to... why has that gone above? There we go. What's going on with this? 1 second, I've got to... For some reason, my windows are overlaying on top of each other. I can't see through them. Yeah, let's try that again. So if you go to retro6.co.uk, ready-made, if you don't want to send yours in, you can have them ready-made. And I think, yeah, they're in there, PS1. So you can have a stock PS1. You can have controllers, so a stock one. The wireless dongle will be this 8-bit though, if you want this, and we don't send it with a controller, but you can choose whichever you want. I'm tempted to offer it with these, as the Mambas, yeah they are, Mamba. I just think they're really good quality, and nice clicky triggers, and not too expensive, they're like £30–40. So I might offer them with these. I think it's just a bit of a strange one using an Xbox style controller on a PlayStation, but personally I've always preferred the Xbox style ones anyway. You can get the brand new memory card, which is obviously the memory card that I've just shown you. You've got xStation here, 64 gig is just a couple of Resident Evils, 1.5 terabytes maxed out with everything, and then you can have video out coming with a cable or having an HDMI upgrade. So that's the options there. It all varies that whether you're in the UK you add VAT, otherwise it'll remove VAT for you, and obviously you can finance it through PayPal in 3 payments as well. We don't do PS3 emulators, no. Right, so let's get this powered up. Yeah, it is literally, it's a clone of an Xbox controller basically, but like I say, I actually prefer the, I might, when I start playing with it, I might decide when I'm playing Resident Evil it doesn't feel right, but I've got a feeling with that used to now the controller layouts that we use, I use Xbox more than PlayStation. I don't think that's going to interfere with my gameplay. I think I'll still enjoy it. So we've got the AV port in, that on. Tidy the desk up a minute. We haven't put any screws in. I haven't put the sticker on yet. I don't know whether I want an xStation sticker. It's like, I kind of like it a bit more stealth, open up. So I'm probably not going to put that on. We'll put the memory card in. Well, actually, leave the memory card out in case we have issues. Let's pull up the HDMI and let's see if this has worked. Turn the controller on. Yes, no, is it this retro tink? Let's just see if this boots first. So that's booting, but something's wrong with the video. Right, now it's on, let's see if it's this. Yeah, this is just my video capture, because you can quite clearly see with nothing on screen the video capture is wrong, so let me just get the signal back up. That's not the one, it should be CV composite. There we go, so that's on. Let me just now try and restart the HDMI output, and if that fails, there we go, so that's up properly. So let's do that again, check it all works. Another reason why I don't like the retro tink, it doesn't always work right. There we go, that's the sound we want to hear. My controller died already. I think we've run out of juice. This is the Manba. Let me pull it up for you on Amazon. Really good, really like it. It's cheap, but it's not cheap build, if you know what I mean. It's like a really good modern controller. You've got Bluetooth, you've got USB, you've got a custom menu you can open up. So if you hold this, you've got like pairing modes. If you see, you go into the mode, you've got like a Switch mode, a PC mode, iOS, Android. You've got settings, so you can configure all the buttons, the joysticks, everything. It's really good. But if you don't want to use any of that, I just literally use it stock. You've got all your buttons on the back, you've got hair triggers as well, and you've got little clicky triggers. So it's really good. Let's get it up. I can't recommend it enough, to be honest. It's a really nice controller. They do quite a few. So this one is it the Manba 1? Yeah, it's the Manba 1, I think, looking at this image. Wow, it does, the photo doesn't do it justice. Let me swap over to PC a minute. So this is the one, Manba 1. And obviously, personally, I think that image doesn't look as good as the actual controller. So if I move that to the center so you can see. Yeah, I don't think that looks as good as the real deal, but yeah, they are really nice. Got nice LED effects here. I know they're over brightened, but just really nice. Right, so this is what we want to do now. Let me just check any comments. Favourite game for Amiga? It is Rough and Tumble. I like that one, and I do love the Secrets of Monkey Island as well, but I used to play that on PC. Right, so let's get this up now in, actually it's fine there, that size. I think on horizontal you can see it big enough. So we have Resident Evil, it has to be, I've got Europe and Director's Cut, so we'll go on Director's Cut. You can do fast load or full load. I'm going to just click fast load, sorry. And then let's play a bit of Resident Evil. But that's obviously all the work done, and that wasn't too bad. And if you haven't played Resident Evil, then you definitely have to. Oh, it didn't like that, did it? Let's do... no, this is a UK PS1. But obviously now it'll be region free with the xStation, so we shouldn't have an issue with it. To be honest, the games I've dumped on it aren't the games I normally put on it. The ones I normally do is the full size SD card, so it might well just be corrupt. Oh, that's disconnecting my controller, doing a reset as well. So one thing with these wireless ones, I still haven't found a wireless one that I'm super happy with. Because things like this, we've just turned it off and on and now the controller's disconnected. Like, let me try unplugging the 8-bit DO, plugging it back in. And let's see if that does the trick. Nope, so we're going to have to repair this. And I've heard that it's apparently meant to be, when you use like the blue retro and stuff, some people say, in fact, tell a lie, I don't think it's the 8-bit DO. This controller has gone back to... Oh no, it was switch mode we used, wasn't it? Yeah. Switch mode, Bluetooth, so the mode hasn't changed. So I think we're just going to have to repair the controller. We'll see if that was a glitch or whether that's going to continue to happen. It's connected straight back up, but it lost connection for some reason. Right, so director's cut, let's try this. We might also need to do full load instead of fast load. But yeah, these ROMs aren't tested. The ones I normally use are fully tested, and if this doesn't boot, then we might well have an issue with some part of that xStation install that we'd have to double check. Yeah, so it was just that ROM I've got's bad, basically. Well, I say that. Have we loaded it yet? But usually that black is literally the security check for the game, so we should be in. Yes, there we go. Yeah. I'm going to have to HDMI mod it because, well, I say I'm going to have to. Because this is now running at 60, and the RetroTink can't handle that, and well, I say it's the RetroTink, the PlayStation isn't generating the right clock, we're going to be in black and white, so what do we do about that? I can either do a dual frequency... Actually, no, the PlayStation should auto switch frequency, I think. I've got something in my head that, let me check my own wiki. Because why do I have a feeling that the PS1 should auto switch frequency? Or if it doesn't, you don't need... No, I haven't even made a note. I could have sworn I'd made a note somewhere on PS1 chroma frequencies. So this might be the... Tell you what, let me plug it into the CRT, that's how we'll tell if it's the PlayStation or the monitor. Well, the PlayStation or the RetroTink. No, so it's the PlayStation not generating or not switching its internal frequency. So we can either play this in 50 Hz, which I want to be able to play in 60 Hz as well. So I'll look into that to see if using HDMI or RGB. In fact, saying that, I'm using RGB in the games room, so it won't matter on RGB. Let me see if I've got an RGB cable. No, so the RGB cable is in the games room, so that won't be a problem for me because I'm using an RGB cable. But you can mod these, I'm sure. I've just got it in my head. I remember doing it where normally you'd have to make a crystal mod to get the chroma circuit to change frequency. I'm sure the PS1's one of them where it automatically has the dual crystal effectively built in. I might be wrong, but considering I'm going to be running mine RGB, we're not going to have this issue. How do we get back to the menu? Is it hold reset for a few seconds? I think it is. Resident Evil 4, yeah, to be honest, I've played most Resident Evils. I like pretty much all of them. I just completed the original Resident Evil. I'm halfway through Resident Evil 2 original, but I've then played the remake of Resident Evil. So like the modern, decent remakes, not the other ones. But I don't think there's really a bad Resident Evil. I even like the most modern ones. HDMI mod isn't that bad. I don't know whether to chuck the HDMI mod on this just for the sake of it. Like maybe do that tomorrow if I get time, just to show you. And then it's got the option, but this is going to be really... I can't see me using it outside of the CRT, personally. Right, let's see if there's an option for... options. Here we go. So, video mode we can just set to PAL. So that's nice and easy. Let me just pull this up. I can't quite see these options. Wrong one. So we've got on power up, loader, list background, colour scheme, seasonal theme, on off. Now loader video mode might just be this loader menu. It might still load the game as 60 Hz, but let's just see if that now forces this into 50 Hz or not. If not, then it's just what it is. Yeah, so it's not going to change the game mode. Oh, it has. There we go. It's changed it back to 50, I think. So we should be good to play a bit of Resident Evil now, hopefully. No, it's changed back to 60 after that, so that's okay then. We'll play it at 60 for now. Just play black and white. Makes it even more retro. Although that flickering's going to be annoying. I know what we wanted to try. This memory card as well. So for this memory card, we just have to insert it. And then we can probably show you on the top down this memory card here. So PS1 memory card, it's already in. If you hold both buttons on here, you'll get to a menu. Boot mode PS1 because it can be used for PS1 or PS2. You hold the button to go into the menu, hold this button to go back out. So we go into here, we're going to enable auto boot to yes. Now back, and that's all we really need to do on this one. So this is acting as the first card in the first channel. You can tap between it and go to tons of channels and literally have all of the channels you need. Like each channel acts like a completely new memory card. So now, it's a shame that we're going to be playing in black and white. But I'm not going to go in the games room and gut the cable for the sake of a quick gameplay. I'm going to do this on... can I make this any bigger? Yeah, it's big enough there. Ooh, who do we go for? Claire has got... Jill. Claire's in 2. Jill's got an easier run on 1 because the boss at the end is much easier. Chris is a lot more difficult, I think, on 1. They're both not too bad. Let's go with Jill. We're obviously not going to do too much of this anyway. Has anybody not played Resident Evil before? What consoles are more difficult to get fixed? Really just the ones that I've got less knowledge of. Once you've built knowledge up, they're not too bad. I'm trying to think of one that's difficult. To be honest, Sega Saturn for me it would be difficult because I don't know much about them and there's tons of chips.
Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. Bravo team went to the hideout of the group.
Oh, you've definitely gotta play it if you know.
Look, Chris.
And you can't skip intros. That's one of the things in Resident Evil. Watch that. I mean, you physically can, but you're not allowed. So you've got to watch them. Ah, and I've tapped a button when I was putting the controller down. I just said you can't. I'm going to force you to rewatch that. That's a shame because that's a really good intro. You'll have to save yourself then for that.
What is this? Wow, what a mansion!
Ah, yeah, yeah. So you're the one that stole my PlayStation. I literally built that for myself and then got an email saying, "Do you sell them?" I'm like, "Oh, no. Yes, go on then." But I think we've sold another one since as well.
What is it? Maybe it's Chris.
I want the colour.
Can you go? I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Let me go and try and grab that RGB. I like the black and white, but I really want to see the colour. Let me see if I can quickly find the cable.
Stay alert. A dining room.
Nope. I've taken it down when I've cleaned up the games room because we had like some interviews and stuff with some newspapers. I cleaned up and moved stuff out the way, so it's way out the way at the minute, unfortunately. Yeah, the snake bosses. All I do with the snake boss is just stand there and blast him with the shotgun. Don't even bother running. You get just as much hits trying to run out the way unless you're really good at it. I just tend to pretty much just plough him with shotgun bullets until he's dead and then heal. And you normally just need one heal, really. But if you're skilled enough, you can dodge everything. But I just literally stand there and literally shoot him with the shotgun. I love the sounds as well, this door. Just the opening and closing of the door, it's just ace. And then I know a fun fact as well, I didn't know this, did you know? This, see if I can get this sound. Which sound is it? Not that one. You know when you go through, we're going to have to pick up like a paper or a book, the paper flipping sound, the shoo, shoo, that's actually on. The kids got me a Jurassic Park, like a Pokédex kind of thing, but Jurassic Park, just a cool little plastic handheld thing. That's got the exact sound from Resident Evil, like the book flip sound. I was like, no way, they've stole it. It's the exact sound clip from Resident Evil, and they put it in a Jurassic Park handheld. So they either know I like both of them, or they stole that sound. Fun fact with this as well, if you're Jill, just back up. Don't bother shooting, just go out. And then he'll take care of it for you. So you don't need to waste any ammo. Resident Evil 1 I think come out on PC later.
Barry?
But yeah, it's out for it now because obviously Microsoft must have got the rights, I presume, maybe at some point.
It's a monster!
Let me take care of this.
Easy.
What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Must say this controller's working good though. So, other than that first dropout. Oh, not allowed to go back in there. Back into the main room. Other than that dropout, this seems to be working well. The only thing I have to figure out is, because I'm holding an Xbox controller, I keep pressing like buttons I'd usually use like B for back instead of Y, which on obviously the PlayStation, it'd be the top button for back in this game. So you automatically start pressing the wrong
Help me look
buttons.
for it, Jill.
But I could always
Don't
remap
leave
this.
hall for the time being.
I think in one of the versions as well, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the Resident Evil 1 remakes, there's a hidden door behind here. I'm sure I remember that.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me, too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
They got rinsed for these acts as well. If you watch the intro video and like all the clip scenes, the acting is so bad, but it's part of what makes it enjoyable.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. This time, I'll be there.
Yeah, definitely script reading. And then like the sound of the steps as well, like cushioning. So when you're on the carpet, you get a cushioning sound, and when you're on like wood, you get a different sound. I really like, and they did that obviously to allow for loading scenes. So instead of you sitting there waiting for a loading, these scenes are originally for loading in the next scene. But you never thought of that as a kid, you just kind of blended in. I don't think we've actually got anything at the minute, have we? 15, ooh. That analog stick isn't the best for... Oh yeah, the analog stick is weird. The up and down is catching left and rights, so stick to the D-pad. Oh, I can't get... Yeah, I've literally got autopilot on these button presses. I want to press the wrong buttons because it's an Xbox controller, wrong way. Let's get this done at the same time. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Whoops, now we're stuck. Right then. Can we dodge zombies? Nope, that was terrible. Right, we might as well go around this way for now then. Oh, this is terrible. I blame this lag on the screen. I'm going to get killed by the very first zombie. I'm playing on, for your reference, that's why I can't even run. I've got like probably the equivalent of an 8-inch screen on the stream, because I'm looking at the horizontal stream maxed out. It's a tiny screen in black and white. That's what I'm blaming that on. And we're not going to last long here. I just want to get to it. Oh yeah, this is... I can usually dodge these completely in this alleyway as well. Yep, that's it. Through. Right, this one will be... Oh, I had a chance then. There we go. Down here. There we go. So we can save in the safe room, and then we can check if this memory card's working. That's what I want to do. Resident Evil film. Oh yeah, Whoosh. Let me get him first. Oh, no, 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 no. Too late. No! Oh, that was a good dodge. This is really hard on a tiny screen. Yeah, the Resident Evil movie, I like it. There's some shocks in it, but I thought it was really good. I think some people don't like it, but I guess maybe if you already like Resident Evil, then that's why I like it, but I thought the movie was really good. Right, so let's now see if this memory card save works. So, as I'm about to do that, let's see if we can zoom this into here so you can see the game and the memory card. Let's just see if this... Whoa, zoomy. Right, so there's the memory card. We will save, yes. Checking memory card. There we go, saving. So, we're getting no feedback on here. On the PS2, it shows you the game that you've loaded. And now let's see if restarting this, we still keep that game save. Hopefully we do. We could definitely try and speedrun this as well. But then again, I've not really done much speedrunning on it, so it'd probably be a bloody 7-hour stream for me. The bot's telling somebody off for using foul language apparently now, but it's not popped up. Right, load game. There we go. So the memory card's working, that's what we needed to know. We're in black and white just because we've done an xStation mod and we're loading a NTSC game on a PAL PlayStation. So I could do a mod to make it work, but because in the games room, this is my personal one, I'm going to be using an RGB cable. We won't have this colour issue, so that's the only reason we have that issue. The games I've chucked on, I think are all NTSC. I've just dumped just a few test games onto, for quickly testing it. For the PS1, if you're having an issue with the disk drive, specifically the disk drive, it's probably cheaper to grab one off eBay with a known working disk drive for like £30–40 unless you're sentimental to it. You can try tuning them as well. There's a little potentiometer on there. I think the one I've just binned, this one. So the drive inside has a potentiometer there. So see on the side of the drive there's a little potentiometer. You need a baby screwdriver, a posi, and you just turn this dial. So say the screwdriver's say across like this at the minute, you probably want to turn it about a quarter, so like 45 degrees to clockwise to strengthen the laser. That normally makes most lasers that are failing work. You can try the whole range, don't worry about tuning it. You can change the PLL and do a load of oscilloscope probing and fisheye probing, but honestly most lasers you can just tweak them ever so slightly and they start working. So that's what I'd do. Europe. We can do Resident Evil 2 in colour. And Resident Evil 2 is a lot harder. Controller, I'm liking it, but analog stick, not so great on up and down converting to the up and downs, the tagging left and right by mistake, but there's an option in the menu, I'm pretty sure. Mode, settings, joysticks. So you got the curve on the joystick, so we could probably adjust the curve. I'm not going to bother messing with that though myself. But all I've done for that is to use the D-pad, so then it's a little bit more confusing using the D-pad. But overall, other than that issue and the fact that I go into Xbox mode and I think I'm playing Fortnite and I'm pressing the wrong buttons, because it instinctively isn't a PlayStation controller, that's the only issue I've got. Physically, this is working good. Oh, see, now, the one thing with Resident Evil 2 is I prefer the sounds, the menu sounds. So I love this sound on here.
Resident Evil 2.
I definitely get the controller. Even if it's not for the PlayStation 1, if you don't prefer it for that, it's definitely, it feels like a nice Xbox controller.
A bizarre incident occurred in the outskirts of an American suburb called Raccoon City.
Yeah, Ryan, I think the sticks are adjustable. The curve, at least, is adjustable in the
It was
menu.
later revealed that the terrible
We can have a go,
disaster
I guess.
had been caused by the T virus, a mutagenic toxin created by the international enterprise Umbrella Incorporated for use in bioweapon experiments. The Raccoon City Police Department's Special Stars unit immediately began...
No, I don't think that's going to adjust the left and right detection. That just looks like it's
apparently closed, thanks to the efforts of Stars
more of like,
members
oh, there you go, shooting and racing. Latency, role-playing games, action fighting, yeah. I don't know what that's going to do to the curve.
Umbrella Corporation's experiments.
It looks more like it's just about the dead zone in the centre. We can try it with that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be... it's going to solve that issue, but that's not the end of the world anyway for this, because I'd probably... You can use the D-pad quite easily. Yeah, it comes with the dock. The dock's in the other room. I've got this in my games room. But you get, again, you get an Ace dock that this just sits on, and I think it charges as well. Yeah, it's got a charge point on the back, so that charges the controller. So for the price, it's really good. I don't know what price it was. I forgot to look at what it was on screen, but I'm sure it's only like £40 or something. It's not bad at all. For the price, it's really good.
Guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me?
Yeah, the cutscenes in these are literally part of the game. You've really got to watch them. And then I think we're driving down in the police car in a minute and get separated at the start. I'll probably...
Mess. What could have done this?
Don't know if I've already had that scene yet.
What was that? What are these things? All right, that's far enough. Don't move. Don't move. No!
This used to shit me up as a kid as well, because you know you're expecting to take over, and you're like, oh, when's it coming, and you kick in on Resident Evil 2 right in the middle of all the zombies. You like get straight into the action.
Don't shoot!
Down. We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer. There.
Yeah, so this is great, where this is how it splits the storylines up. So obviously if you start with one character versus the other, you start in a completely different spot in a sense, but this intro kind of shows you how. It's like a really good way of separating the storylines.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah. First day on the job.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's a good point. I never noticed that with his hair.
Mine's Claire. Claire Redfield. I came to find my brother, Chris.
Hey, could you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you.
HDMI or composite HDMI on the PlayStation. Retro gaming cables do a converter. It's the cable I'm using. It works pretty well, but that's... oh no, tell a lie, that's RGB. They might do one though. Look on retro gaming cables, see if they do a HDMI one. If not, because this output's RGB anyway, then most RGB to HDMI converters will work good. I've got one which might work. That's about to start and get me killed, isn't it? So, leave all that on the floor because we're about to get killed. I've got the cable there. I'll show you in a second and we can try it. So yeah, that lorry ploughs through the car and then the split either side of the car. Oh, here we go. No, oh, this is so small on screen. I'm going to have to... Oh, I haven't got time change either. Yeah, so this, you imagine this is the first intro into the game, and you're just faced with this straight away. You have no chance. You just like really kind of crap yourself at the start. I can't see this on this monitor's so small, and I haven't got a chance to adjust it large, because I can adjust it large on the horizontal. Nearly made it then. Get into the shop. Come on, right. Let me adjust that to horizontal large so I can see myself. There we go. I need to play like this a minute because it's too small otherwise.
Freeze!
Oh, so yeah, PS2. Funnily enough, this is
Hold your fire! I'm a human!
this is one. Let me jump back to where are we? That way. So you got this little thing, PS2 to HDMI. Same thing, just one off AliExpress. It's got the HDMI and it's got audio tap out. I haven't personally tried it, but I think there's another one I've got for PS2 as well. But I'm not going to run over there just yet. But to be honest, again, similar thing, PS2 already outputs RGB in the back. So you get pretty good converters without going crazy. You don't need to go too crazy with that. Why sharing the wiki? That's what I like to do. I like to give away the knowledge for free so other people can learn and do things. Right then. I will definitely... The one other thing with Resident Evil 2 is you get way more ammo. Are we fully loaded? Yes, we are. You get a lot more ammo, but there's also a lot more zombies. So you tend to find, I personally find, that I've run out of ammo a lot quicker on Resident Evil 2. I should have probably gone down here first because I think there's more ammo. Yes, done this backwards. Anything else? I can't remember. I've only just started replaying this as well, I should remember. Oh no, I think I completed Resident Evil 2 on... actually, we've missed the shotgun, we should go back for the shotgun. And I bet we can't. Go back. Yeah, I think I completed it with Leon and then I started Claire, or the other way around. I think I completed it with Claire and... Sneak past here. No! Yeah, this controller, I need to stop using that analog. Oh my god. Give me shotgun. I'm going to take one in the neck, I think, for grabbing this, because I don't even know where I am. I can't see myself. Where am I? I'm too small on screen. I need to rethink this stream thing so I can actually see myself. Yes, that was skill. Out we go. Let me just pause that a second. I keep forgetting I can pause. There we go. Right, because I'm only testing this, I'll just make use of my 4 shotgun bullets for now, and then I'm just going to chill with Rusty. And at least now I've got a PlayStation I can actually use, and I'm going to dump this full of all the games. See what I mean about the ammo though? In Resident Evil 1, you wouldn't get this much ammo for ages. And instead of using that, I'm going to use my 4 shotgun bullets. Which is actually probably one of the best things to do at this stage. You'd normally get them group up a bit before you do this. There we go. Come on, I know one of you isn't dead. You're going to stand back up. No, or you're going to bite my feet off. There we go. Let's just do a bit of handgun for now. And then if you haven't played it before, one of the things with the zombies is if you go over them and they're not fully dead, they'll start biting your feet. So as well as the fact that it's scary enough as it is, this one didn't, but you can have them where they'll, you know, bite your feet and attack you. So it's all about the suspense and the thought that you're going to die and you've got to go so far before you can save without an ink ribbon. So it's all about that fact that you could literally put an hour into this game and then get killed and lose all your progress. So you really play the game cautiously when you're trying to play it properly. And I think that's what I miss about modern games I miss about retro games, is that modern games, you die and then you just start back up again basically where you were. There's no like loss, you're not going to play a modern game and lose an hour's worth of progress. There's no game like that anymore. You can just save whenever you want. I think part of the appeal of the Resident Evil was there was genuine fear that if you died, you've lost a lot of your time, and you didn't want to do that. I think that's what they need to bring back. Even the modern Resident Evils don't have that. And I think they definitely need to bring back that sense of challenge, really, that you could lose your progress. At least for me, anyway. That's like one of the main reasons I like to play the old ones. And then don't forget to reload before... or check in my case. Don't forget to reload before you run out, otherwise you'll lose time on the reload sequence. Oh, that was close. Oh no, and he isn't dead. See what I mean about the ones that don't die? And again, you don't need to kill these, I'm just having some fun. You can just run past most of these. The idea in Resident Evil is to try and not waste your ammo. You wouldn't stand here and shoot every zombie, because within 3 minutes we'll be out of ammo and then you really struggle. So don't play it like how I'm playing it if you're going to have a go. The idea is to try, every time you come up to a zombie, you want to try and think about how to get past them. Like these now, when they're eating, you'd run past and just ignore them and get past them quickly. And then I think on the buzz we're going to hit more. So it's all about trying to conserve your ammo. So when you really need it and you can't get past people, then that's when you use it. That's kind of the aim of the game. I think I've seen somebody on a speedrun as well be able to get past... Ah, there you go, you little shit. To get past the zombie on this buzz here. Like this one. They've somehow managed to... Well, obviously there's a technique to dodging I don't have. Where they can get past this zombie, I think, without dying. Let me just show you the death sequence as well, because it's quite cool. I haven't actually done the VR Resident Evil now. And then look at this as well, when you die, or when you start dying on Resident Evil 2, look at now, you walk slower as well. It's just such a good set of games. I think they just did it really well for the time. There we go, so when you die you get this, and this is what you don't want to see, because then you can lose all your progress. But such a good game. If you haven't played it, definitely recommend it. And if you want any of these, obviously we sell them and build them on Retro 6. So hope you guys enjoyed this anyway. This is now my personal one, and then I'll probably be back on tomorrow to do an Atari Jag recap and 50-60 Hz switch. HDMI for PS2 on the board is, let me just quickly check before I go. Send in service.
A bizarre incident occurred on the outskirts of an American
PS2 HDMI. I think we've got new HDMI, or I can get them high speedo that are much cheaper. At the minute, it would be for a retro gem like £240, but if it was a high speedo, which I can check, I can probably get you done for half that almost. Because they're quite a lot of work to install, so you're talking probably 120 to 160 for a high speedo HDMI.
The case was apparently closed, thanks to the efforts of Star.
So that's it for this one, guys, and I will probably catch you tomorrow.